What's going on, guys? Andrew Pillock Hockey here, back again with another video. Today I'm going to be looking at some NHL trade rumors from Spectors Hockey for November 28th, 2019. Now again, these are my opinions, but also I'm getting the information from Spectors Hockey. The link will be down below. He gathers information from basically sources from all over the place and puts it into one, and then I give my opinion on it as well. He allows me to do that, so thank you very much. But we're starting off with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, again, at the time I'm recording this, some of the statistics might be a little bit different from when, you're watching this. Could be a couple days later. But the Montreal Gazette, Stu Cowan believes the Canadiens could soon reach an important crossroads in terms of whether or not they're going to make a big move in selling off some of their talent or acquiring some talent, because right now, they're in a bit of a bad stretch. So the 5-game winless streak, again, the stats could be a little bit off depending on when you're watching this. They're basically in trouble. They need to bounce back, and you know what? They're not in a terrible position. Like, people have to realize, like, there's a lot of teams right now in the East especially that are bouncing back and forth between bad losing streaks and then going on winning streaks. So I don't think we should really count the Montreal Canadiens out yet, especially since, Toronto and them are right there too. Buffalo, they've been back and forth. So I don't think that they're going to be making a big move, but nonetheless, they've blown a 4-3 lead and a 5-3 lead recently, and then of course that 8-1 loss to the Bruins was insane. When I was watching that game, I couldn't believe what was going on. The Bruins just looked like they were just playing with Montreal at that point, and Bergeron wasn't even in the game. So basically, the Montreal Gazette is wondering if Marc Bergevin might flex a little bit of his salary cap space and get rid of a prospect or something like that, because we know that right now they have the salary cap space. I believe it's somewhere around the $6 to $8 million cap space mark, as well as they have a good prospect pool. So they could attach something like that to get rid of a bad contract to open up even more space, or they can make a trade by, just bringing in a high salaried player, maybe a Taylor Hall at some point, who knows. But they can make a pretty significant move. They have the salary cap, they have prospects, they have picks, they have a lot of options here. But what was also brought up here is they're wondering if they can afford to rebuild a little bit. And I wouldn't use the word rebuild, because I think Montreal has a really good core right now, but they're saying like retooling the team a little bit by trading a guy like Carey Price or Shea Weber, but it's not all that easy. Now, I also don't think that trading Carey Price is the best way to go. Now, Price has to live up to a pretty large contract. I mean, the guy's making like over $10 million a season, I believe, or pretty damn close to it. And Shea Weber has a pretty long contract that still gets him almost $8 million annually. I think that's like, it says here it's signed to like the 2025-26 season, which that just seems insane. But those two guys, I mean, Shea Weber, maybe it makes sense if you swap out another big contract with him, but I don't really know if it makes sense to get rid of those guys. I think that the fact that Montreal has such a good team, and if they can bring in another good player, there's a really good chance that they can make an improvement here. One big name player could turn this team around, and especially, if it's a guy that can play a two-way game, because, that helps Carey Price in the long run as well. But, a guy like Shea Weber isn't getting any younger. I know he still puts up points, but he's not, the same Shea Weber as before. Anyways, Le Journal de Montreal cites a report by NBC Sports. Charlie I don't want to mess up his name, so Charlie R, claiming Bergevin took in Tuesday's game between the Blackhawks and Dallas Stars. He's also attended several games involving the Blackhawks AHL affiliate in Rockford, so maybe he's going to make a trade with the Hawks. He's done it before, but they have over $8 million in salary cap room. Marc Bergevin has the option to make a big move and acquire somebody in, or create even more cap space, if he wants to, by trading away one of his big name talents like a Weber or Price, and hopefully, bring back a prospect, or maybe bring in a player that better suits his team. Whatever he wants to do, he does have a lot of options here. But what Marc Bergevin has done is, he hasn't gained the full trust back of the Montreal fans, I don't think, but I do believe that he's gained a lot of people back into his corner, because he's creating a different environment for Montreal here, and I don't think that he should go out of his way to mess it up just in case, he makes a move that he would regret, because if Carey Price gets traded, you're going to lose a lot of people there, but that's not the main thing. Like, it's a business. If you lose some fans, honestly, in my eyes, so what, to be honest with you. But it's whether or not he plays really good when he gets traded somewhere else and it looks really stupid on him if he's just going through a bit of a rough stretch, because you can't always blame a rough stretch on just the goalie, but he is getting paid quite a lot. But we'll have to see what happens there. I'm going to update it as time goes on, but I think Montreal's better suited to bring in a big name and try to fix their problems like that, because they are right there. If they bring in a guy like Taylor Hall, that's a playoff team. Like, you have to think that's a playoff team. All right, the Bruins. There's some stuff on the Bruins. Obviously, the team, this is a good transition, the team that just stomped Montreal 8-1. The Bruins re-signing Charlie Coyle and Chris Wagner. I thought those were pretty decent contracts. Charlie Coyle definitely has, you know, played really well for Boston, and considering with some of the contracts that are being signed, I've seen some comments, people saying, oh, why don't other teams sign great deals like this? Guys, let's not jump the gun here. I believe Charlie Coyle only has one 20-goal season, and you better hope that he plays up to this contract as the deal goes on. I personally like the deal for Charlie Coyle a little bit more than the Wagner contract, but Joe Haggerty wonders where this leaves Torrey Krug. Now, I am a big fan of Torrey Krug. I hope that he remains a Bruin, and I know that sounds weird coming from a Leafs fan, but I think that he just suits the Bruins style so much, and he said that he will take a hometown discount. But the Bruins have a lot of guys that they're going to have to look at and re-signing, you know, in the near future, especially after these deals. And you better hope that the salary cap goes up. I think it's going to go up another $2 million next season. But basically, the Bruins need to re-sign Zdeno Chara, which I'm thinking if he does come back, it'll be a very small one-year deal. Matt Grzelcyk, Jake DeBrusk, that's a guy you got to get done too. Kevin Miller, Yaroslav Halak, he's been incredible for them in the backup position. Basically, Haggerty observers, I don't think that makes sense, but Haggerty basically is saying that the Bruins have a lot of talent that could fill in for Krug's spot on the blue line in terms of prospects and, you know, young players. So the Spectre's note here, Cap Friendly, indicates the Bruins have over $65 million invested in 15 players for next season. Krug said he's willing to take a hometown discount with the Bruins, but it'll be over his $5.25 million average annual value. In the open market, you got to think that that gets you $7 to $8 million, and that's even put here in the Spectre's note. He's got 3 consecutive 50-plus point seasons, so he can do it offensively. He's not afraid to get in there and hit. You know, remember in the playoffs last year, he threw a bunch of hits. But listen, don't expect the Bruins to trade Krug this season. He's still a crucial part of their playoff push. Anybody would definitely know that, but they could get him re-signed before July. Nonetheless, the longer he goes unsigned, the more questions that will happen with the Bruins. I think that he just fits their style a lot. I don't think that the Bruins want to get rid of him necessarily, but if they feel like they can invest their money in another player and they have another weakness that they want to cover up, which right now they don't have a ton of weaknesses, I do believe that they're going to try to figure it out to get Krug in there, because Krug is more important than some of those guys that are going to be free agents. And, you know, as long as you get guys like, you know, Krug and DeBrusk done, I think that that's when you can move on to other guys, and even Halak, which I don't think a lot of these guys are going to be that expensive. Just a quick note on the Buffalo Sabres. Elliot Friedman reported that the Sabres have interest, I believe, in Marco Scandella and Colin Miller and Zach Bogosian potentially available for trade. Buffalo likely looking for forward help, but all three have significant salary, and Miller has another 2 years left at $3.875 million. Sorry, not have interest in Marco Scandella. I completely goofed that up. But those three guys, like Colin Miller, that deal I thought was fantastic for Buffalo. I'm like, oh my God, that's the guy that the Leafs were going after. Everybody wanted him. And it looks like he was going to fit in well in a new system, but it just hasn't worked out. It didn't work in Vegas, and now it's not working out in Buffalo. But when I get more information, I want to take a deeper dive into that, because Buffalo seems to be in a little bit of the trade rumors lately. But if Elliot Friedman's reporting that, then there must be a sale on defensemen in Buffalo. So we'll have to see where that goes. That tweet came from Mike Augello, a.k.a. @Mike in Buffalo. So we'll have to see what happens there, but some stuff there on some rivals in Montreal and Boston. November 28th, trade rumors from Spectre's Hockey. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my take. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Let's get to 7,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.